Well, good evening. We're continuing on with the commentary on the book of 2 Chronicles, and we're up to chapter 3. And chapter 3 is the beginning of the details of dimensions and what is made, Solomon had made for the construction of the new temple. Then Solomon began to build the house of the Lord at Jerusalem in Mount Moriah, where the Lord appeared unto David his father in the place that David had prepared in the threshing floor of Ornan, the Jebusite. This is the same place that the Lord told Moses to take his son Isaac and offer him up as a sacrifice. Notice it is the land of Ornan the Jebusite, not the land of any Palestinian, nor people from Gaza either. The scripture says this land belonged to the Jebusite, and David actually bought it from them. He began to build in the second day of the second month in the 4th year of his reign. Now these are the things wherein Solomon was instructed for the building of the house of God. The length by cubits after the first measure was 60 cubits, and the breadth 20 cubits. In other words, the foundations were 90 feet long and 30 feet wide. And the porch that was in front of the house, the length of it was according to the breadth of the house, 20 cubits. In other words, the porch was 30 feet, and the height was 120 cubits, or 120 feet high. And overlaid the inside walls of the ceilings with pure gold. And the greater house he made the ceilings of fir trees, which he overlaid with fine gold, and set thereon designs of palm trees and chains. And he garnished the house with precious stones for beauty, and the gold was gold of Parvaim. Now, Parvaim is the only word, is the only place in the whole Bible where this word is mentioned. And I'll just read this what it says below. Parvaim, it was translated as Parwaim in the Septuagint, Paroim. So there was a difference in translation, a difference in spelling, a difference in the way it was said. It's the only place that it's mentioned in the whole Bible, and we can't find a place reference to where it actually was. He overlaid all the house, the beams, the posts, the walls and the doors with gold, and engraved cherubims on the walls. And he made the most holy house, the length whereof was according to the breadth thereof, 20 cubits by 20 cubits. It was a square 30 feet by 30 feet in dimensions. He overlaid it with 600 talents of gold, and it was fine gold. Today's valuation would have been $18 million worth of gold was put on in the inside of that holy house. The weight of the gold nails was 50 shekels, and he overlaid the upper chambers with gold. And in the most holy house, that is the Holy of Holies, he made 2 cherubims of image work and overlaid them with gold. And the wings of the 2 cherubims were 20 cubits that were 30 feet long from one tip of one wing to the tip of the second wing of the second cherubim. One wing of the first cherubim was 5 cubits, reaching to the wall on the left-hand side of the house. And the other wing touched the second wing, and the other wing touched the wall on the other side, reaching to the wing of the other cherub. And one wing of the other cherub was 5 cubits, reaching to the wall of the house. And the other wing of 5 cubits was joining to the wing of the other first cherub. The 2 cherubs were constructed so that one wingtip touched the one wall, and the other wingtip touched the wingtip of the second cherub, and its other wing touched the other wall. The wings of these cherubim spread themselves 20 cubits, and they stood on their feet, and their faces were turned inwards. And he made the veil of blue, purple, crimson, and fine linen, and wrought cherubims on them. They were dyed onto the material. Also he made before the house 2 pillars, 35 cubits high, and the chapiters. That's the part that sticks on the top of the column. And the chapiters that were on the tops of the pillars were 5 cubits high. And he made chains as in the oracle, and put them on the heads of the pillars, and made 100 pomegranates of them the chains. So you have this very beautiful designed chapiter on the top. And then you have a chain going around it with 100 pomegranates hanging from it. And he erected the pillars before the temple, one on the right-hand side and one on the other on the left-hand side, and called the name of that one on the right Jason. And Jason means he shall establish. And the other one was called on the left Boaz, which means it is strength. As we look at this picture, we can see the two large cherubim with their wings touching one wall, to the two wings touching in the center of the room, and then the second wing, the fourth wing touching the other wall. And that was to be covering the place where the Ark of the Covenant was to be brought in. You can see there the priest bringing in the coals from the brazen altar to put them before the Ark of the Covenant. Very special place, the Holy of Holies. The rest of the furniture and the other instructions given by Solomon to create the temple ready for the reception of the Ark of the Covenant will continue in chapter 4 in the next session.